Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic rider here today on Flyboy. This was the Pacey Rocky. We just changed his bit to the Wonder bit to see if he'll play less with this one, because he played a lot with the Miler roller, and he's still playing with this some as I'm starting, so we'll see. So I'm going to take him out on trail, then we'll come back and do the arena. Let's do our vertical flexion. So I always like to make sure they're okay with the bit before we go. He's just a little confused, so the owner came and took lessons, and then of course when you have different riders on your horse, it changes them. They get confused because different people give different signals, and so it takes a little time till they come back to me. So when you have lots of people riding your horse, just know it changes things, and the horse can get very confused and start acting up when they are confused. So the main thing with this horse, the way to get his gait the best, is to keep him from bunching up, because he gets all bunched up in this cute little frame, but then he doesn't gait well, and because he tenses up his neck and his back when he does that. So my main thing with him is getting him to walk out, but getting him to relax. So right now, he's a little bunched up. I did lunge him, and he wasn't very energetic, but it's windy, and he might have fooled me. That's happened, so we'll just see how it goes. And just remember, if you go on a trail ride and it's not going well, just turn around and go home. Don't keep going. The farther you get out, the harder it is to get back when they're not being so good. So it's better to turn home, go ride in the arena, try again tomorrow. Okay, so always half halt when you go down hills. If the horse is speeding up, not paying attention, or it's not very balanced, you squeeze and relax with each step to keep them rocked back on their back end. With him, he's going to tend to look around. I've only trail ridden him a little bit so far, so we want to keep his attention. So when he looks around, I am just correcting him by pulling on that rein. So when he looks right, I pull left. When he looks left, I pull right. I want his right in between my hands and my legs, and I want him walking forward. So he sucked back right now, so I'm pushing. He was walking forward till we took that turn. So if your horse is going forward, then he slows down, you know he can still keep going forward. So you get after him and make him move out. So he's just looking and a little more nervous today than usual. But again, it's been, I don't know, a week since I've been out on this trail. So there he just walked right up into the bush, so he went crooked. And I caught him at the last moment because I was talking. So I'm just trying not to so much get him to lower his head way down, but just to reach out with his neck and have his neck go a little bit flatter. So it tells me a lot of things when the owner comes and rides, and then how the horse reacts afterwards. Either they're the same as when I rode them, which rarely happens, or they're different. And then I know it's not the horse that we need to fix now that we, have fixed the rest with the horse. It's now fixing the owner, and that happens with a lot of people. That's why it's nice when you have a trainer at your barn, because you can ride it, mess it up, then the trainer fixes it, you do it again, and they fix it, and they just keep fixing it for you until you no longer need them to fix it because you're riding better. So that's what happens. So even when your horse is trained, you get it back, you don't do the right things, they'll start to go backwards. But again, you can tune them back up. I think it's best to take lessons. Now there he just step pace, so I'm going to back up, and then we're going to try to walk again. But it's best to take lessons so you can correct it right away. If you don't take lessons, you don't know if you're doing the right thing or wrong thing, you can ask us as many questions as you want, but it won't show us the true picture, so we might even give you the wrong information because we're not seeing what's happening. We're just going from what you're saying. Now I don't want to go this slow. He's kind of sucking back, but I'm trying to keep him also from step pacing right now. And he's going to the bathroom, so I'm tapping him, so no more stopping. So it's very important that you not only get your horse trained, but you learn how to ride it correctly. When you don't know how to ride, you can take the most magnificent horse. It could be a $200,000 horse, and you can ruin it in a week. Okay, all the tarps are moving around up here. So you sit back, get your reins ready, just in case, keep trying to go forward. He's not afraid of them, but it's windy today, and that makes things different. Okay, so you sit back, ride forward, Try to keep him kind of just flat walking up this hill. Come on. You heard me just yell at him. I got my right leg jammed into his side and I kind of bumped him with it. So make them drive up the hill. Don't let them step pace. Go as slow as you need to go, that it's clear 4-beat footfall. And you make them drive with that back end. You'll feel it when you do it right. You'll feel the power just like you feel from your car when it has, you know, rear wheel drive and you hit the gas. So you want to, don't step pace up the hill unless you can't do anything else. But otherwise you're trying to work on their gait and get the trail mileage on them. And that's when they gait well all the time, because somebody did that for them and not let them go out of gait. Okay, so he's very looky today. But usually the first day back I ride in the arena, not today. Today we're like, nope, now it's starting to do the trail stuff, so let's just work it out here and then we'll go back and see how we do. So step ups are great, especially for pacey horses, because they have to separate their legs. So if your horse is pacey, find trails with obstacles to walk over or go off the trails and walk through the rocks and the branches. They'll act as your natural poles, but sit back, especially if it's trippy, and don't do too much too soon. If your horse is off balance, you know, just do that for a couple of minutes. Now, he just got goofy there, so I'm going to turn him around. So I'm going to make him do this stuff again when he does it wrong. He's been by this. There's no reason. There's nothing here. So don't just accept not doing something well when you know the footing and everything is okay. So now he just tried to eat that grass. I'm going to spin him right in the bush. This is your turn on the forehand. Okay. So, and this is the importance of being very clear with your horse. When you're not clear, which many of us are not in the beginning when we're beginners, then the horse starts testing more because they don't know the rules. So he knew the rules, now he doesn't know the rules again. So we'll see how it goes. And it's hard, we all mess up our horses. You know, it's just part of the journey, but we have to try and be a little bit more strict and clear with them because they don't understand maybe. And when they get a maybe, they start taking advantage of the maybe. Maybe today you walk out of my space, maybe you don't. Maybe you go the speed I asked, maybe you don't. So all those maybes add up, and then they don't do the horse justice, they confuse it, and then they start acting up on you. You got to be clear, set your boundaries, and then do what you have to do to get them to do it. But you have to learn in the process, and that's the hard part. Okay? All right. So we like to ride out forward, especially when you have a horse that has some energy. He does have some energy. He's faking it right now. I know it's in there still, just because of how he's acting. And it gives you a lot of information too. So maybe he always needs to ride the first day back to work in the arena and not go on trail. It's all a test. That's why sometimes I'll lunge them. Sometimes I don't. He's step pacing, so I'm going to leg yield back and forth. I'm not just going to pull. Don't just pull. It just confines him more. Do some lateral work and then try to go straight again. Okay, so each horse is different. Some you won't lunge and they're perfectly fine. Others, if you don't lunge them, they are horrible. But if you lunge them, they're perfect. So you got to figure out, do I have to lunge him or round pin him? How long do I have to do it? And do I just have to do it the first of the week after he hasn't worked? Or is this a horse I have to do every day? Because he's very energetic and he doesn't think until I start lunging him. He's just reactive if I don't do it well. And even with the lunging, it's not just chasing your horse around. It is moving his feet but not making them insane, if that makes sense. Some of you chase them too much, and especially if you have a sensitive horse, you make it nutty. So see all the things he's looking at? He looked at the rock, he looked at the feather, he went sideways. If you look at his last video on the trail, you'll see he didn't do any of that, but that was also later in the week. So you take all that into consideration. So I want him to, when I lunge him, to move and canter a lot and move out, but not go crazy. If he goes crazy, we yank and stop him and make him start again. Kind of like, you know, where I did back there when he was just being a goofball and I made him do it a bunch of times. The hard part is you can't get too angry because you'll get in a fight and they will win. So you're trying to get them to do it, but feel when they're getting angry and do something else. Because you're not trying to do it to make the horse rear up or buck or try to kill you, because now they're so annoyed with you. You're just trying to get the point across and go, okay, now let's go. Okay? So it's all a journey. So now he's a little better. He's still looking some. His flat walk's starting to get better. I just think this might be a horse that you gotta ride in the arena the first day. There he step pace, so I pushed him sideways. So remember, when they step pace, do the wrong thing, or they keep speeding up, don't just pull. Give them a job to do. If you just pull, a lot of them, like him, will just bunch up, and then they'll just pull, or they will get their head under the bit and just keep going. So you see, he's spooky at a lot of things. So maybe we got to do some more desensitizing with him. So I'm taking this all in, like, hey, you're not prepared very well today. Who's your trainer? He's like, you are, you idiot. It's you, and you didn't prepare me well enough, because this was a test. Okay, so now we're in the sand, so he should, there's a deer. I see its little white butt, and for Marissa, it was a Dober deer. It's an inside joke. Okay. So, but he did good with that. Now the deer's still over on the right, so I got my left rein and leg against him. So if that deer jumps out and scares him, I'm ready to counteract the maneuver. Okay. Now he just started step pacing. So see, you can back up on the trail, especially if nobody's with you. If somebody's with you, you're like, hey, stay back there for a second. I got to back up. He's step pacing. So we don't, if we let him start step pacing all the time, it's not going to go away. I got to get him out of that step pace, so he's got to know it's not okay. So each week we have to do less and less of that step pacing until it's totally gone. Now he sucked back like he didn't want to go, and then I just pushed him with my legs and my stick. Okay? Young horses, you're constantly running out here, just ride on loose rein. If I did, he probably would have already left, because then he would have been in charge, and he was like, I don't feel like doing this today. So again, you try to come out very step paced, and you try to get them walking and flat walking for at least 5 to 10 minutes, get them really warmed up, and then you're going to do your next gait, which would be your running walk, foxtrot, or saddle gait. This is when the horse doesn't gait well. If your horse gaits well, you just warm it up and then you can do whatever. But when they're not gaiting well, you want them warmed up well, and then you can start doing your saddle gait. Now, you can do it even up the hill, but try not to let them pop their head up, especially if they're pacey. When they get to the hill, it's going to be easier if they pop their head up and swing their legs. You make them keep their head down and do the gait, okay? And don't let them get bunched up. Even when you're going up a hill, you can stop, back up, back down the hill, do it again. But they got to know. Okay, so let's go a little faster and see what happens. So he's immediately step pacing. So I'm going back and forth. You see I'm going off the trail. Now he's not leg yielding that great either. Now this is better, even though we're going downhill and it might look like it's bouncy. He's doing a little bit better gait. Okay, now we're gonna walk. So the really hard part with the forward horses or step pacey, see him looking around and see me jerking on the rein? Like, don't look at that. I'm not giving him the option. I'm being very clear. You don't get to look over there. And many of you are like, well, I want him to look. Well, if you have a spooky one, he's going to look and spook. If you have a trippy one, he's going to look and trip. Okay? If you have one that's not gating well, he's going to look and not gate well. They got to pay attention to what they're doing at the moment. They got to stay focused, and it's your job to keep them focused in the beginning. Remember, you got to ride. Okay, so I'm going to go up this hill. I'm going to try and go faster. So the hill will separate his legs. I'm going to slide the bit if he starts step pacing. And I'm going to sit deep. I'm not going to help him at all because he needs to stick those back feet in the ground and push. So we didn't go very fast, but he pushed. Okay? When he can do it well, he'll be able to do that gait and push himself up the hill. I know many of you send them to the trainers and don't go to see them at the training, and then you get them back and then things start to fall apart again. It's usually, well, not always, because some trainers don't do a great job. I've seen that. But other times it's just because you're doing it wrong, the trainer did it right, and they didn't get to show you what to do because you never came to visit. So you never got to work through any of the problems. That's one of the most important pieces, is to try to learn. Not just expect it's all the horse. It has to be both of you. So you might hear me, I'm tapping him here and there. I'm pushing him with my leg. I'm getting after him. Tomorrow he'll be better, but today he's not. That's the way it goes. And that's why, you know, it's fine just two of us are riding this horse, the owner and me. But imagine if we had 4 people on this horse riding him at different times. He'd be totally confused, probably rearing up and bucking because he's too young to handle that. His brain hasn't tolerated all those people yet. He needs people who can help him and understand him and make him do it. And I posted that article about failing, but again, we all fail. I didn't ride forward horses very good when I started out. I don't know why they kept giving them to me. Probably because nobody else wanted to ride them. And guess what? I figured it out, and then I got very good at it. So it is not fun going through that. But if you can get yourself through the other side, there he's step pacing. Now I just side passed. I'm trying to associate things like don't step pace. Because here he bunches way up. He should be going better on the trail, not worse than the arena. Okay? Because he was a trail horse first, not an arena horse. So it doesn't matter what day, how long he's been out. He just did it again. Now I'm going the other way. Now he got confused and then he shut down. Then I tapped him one. He didn't do anything, so I really got after him. So this is the first time I fought with this horse. Because now he's testing. He's like, I didn't have to do it before. Why do I have to do it now? And I said, because it's me. You're always going to have to do it with me. I know what you got. Okay, so we're going to ask for a little bit more forward. Now he's step pacing, so I'm going to leg yield. There's a chainsaw going on, but I don't care about that. He's not going forward. He was getting bunched up and staying in the same spot, so this is better. Now I'm going to take him kind of where the rocks are, and now I'm going to serpentine. So use those things you used in the arena. Keep them going. All that sideways stuff's going to separate their legs, so he keeps step pacing. I can serpentine. I can leg yield. I can move his shoulders. So I have 3 different things I can pull out of my toolbox to use. So this is better, but he's still looking around a lot. He was really looking at that car, so of course I went right towards the car. Like, you want to look at it? Let's go up next to it then. Here he's better, but I'm sitting way back because I'm eating down the hill. Usually that makes them very pacey, but it's not with him. So he's still a little too curled up for what I like with him, but he's gaiting better, so I'm accepting it. Can't be perfect, it's just got to be better than when I started out today. Now, when you turn for home, when you have an out and back like this, if you can, turn somewhere big that it is either going back up a hill or like this bush right here with the bathtub. I can make a circle around it. So I'm going to turn around this. And if he just all of a sudden starts dragging me, I can keep him in a circle out here like this is the arena. And keep working him till he calms back down. You can always bring a rope with you and you can lunge him out where you are. Work that energy off. Now so far he's okay, so we'll see. And it's hard when they get fast. Your secret is, like I put in the videos, to take and let go, take and let go. Because if you just hold, you make them worse. And they want to get away from you because you're causing too much pressure. Okay? So you want to squeeze on the reins, squeeze as hard as you can, pull as hard as you can if you need to, but then you got to push your arms forward and really release for a second or two, and then you can pick right back up. But if you hold the whole time, there he got step pacey, so I'm really pushing him sideways. But if you just hold, there he got step pacey again. So I'm not pulling, I'm pushing him there, and then I released. Okay? But that's counterintuitive of what we think. We think pull, you see, step pace, and most people would pull and hold. That won't work, or it won't work well. So you give them a job, give them something lateral that you taught them in the arena. Don't teach them out here, it's too hard. Teach them in there, and then use it all the time, and you'll be like, wow, my horse can do third level dressage. What a nice gaited horse, because you practice it all the time on the trail. You use those maneuvers and then practice them. Now right now he's good. He's paying attention, he's going forward, he's got a 4-beat footfall, he's flat walking. I try not to, especially if they're being bad, saddle gait or go their faster gait on the way home. I try to keep it slower. That's why I come out forward. But when I get back home, yeah, I'm going to work him. He's got energy. He's saving it up. So I'm going to work it. Trainers are usually pretty relaxed. They ride all the time, and many times your horse isn't bad considering what they think is bad, because they've had some really bad ones come in. And the difference is they've learned what to do because they've had lots of practice. They usually had a mentor or trainer help them. It's just not like they magically became a good rider. Somebody helped them, taught them. They probably went to lots of clinics, learned from a lot of different people. You don't even have to go in the clinic. You just watch all the problems that are happening. Wow, you can learn so much. And auditing don't cost that much, like $40 or so a day. That way you get to see everybody and you can take it all in. You know, someone will have something similar to what your horse is doing. Even if you learn what not to do, it's still a benefit. So that's why trainers are so good at this stuff, because they've learned. And you have to learn. You can't think you can do what the trainer does and you have no training. I mean, that's like trying to be Tiger Woods and you have not taken a golf lesson or even watched golf, okay? It's not magic. It's time, patience, and a lot of failures. Until you have more success than failures, then you know you're on the right road. But it takes a while to get through that. It's not giving up. If you want that horse or you want to ride or whatever you want, don't give up. But if it's too difficult, then yeah, maybe that horse isn't right for you, and now you realize you need something easier, something not so pretty, something that just gates and has mileage on it. It's not going to test you every single day of your life. Other ones, like, we're like, that's fun. Keeps me alive. Makes me pay attention. But not everybody's like that. I'm a fixer. That's why I like to train. I like to fix things. So he's trying to bunch up, and all I'm doing is just slowing him down and pushing him sideways when he's trying, when he's doing it right. Like now, I just leaving him alone. I'm not even half halting. I'm just sitting here. Now there he just started step pacing, so I'm not going to allow it. I pushed him sideways. When they step pace or pace, if you push him in the bad footing, sorry, I know it's windy. If you push them in the bad footing, they have to step over things, and that just helps legs and get them out of the step pace. I think he's remembering who's on his back now. He's like, oh, it's her. She thinks this stuff is funny. That's another thing. A lot of us, you know, when you get scared or things happen, a lot of us laugh. Really scared people don't laugh, but you should try. Try starting a laugh instead of crying. It's like laughing at fear in its face, right? That laugh in its face. Okay, so here we go downhill, so let's see how he does. So not bad. I'm standing in the saddle. I always raise up, but if you don't have good balance, you don't raise up, you just sit. And once you get better, you can raise up so your horse can use its back better. So he did good. The only thing he did is he went from left to right. He just drifted over. But remember, right's his weaker side, so that's what's always going to happen with this horse until we get it better. He's always going to drift right because that left side is stronger. But again, did I pick to fix it? No, I just let him do it because today's his first day back to work. He was already having issues and fights with me when we started out. You saw that? That wasn't good. And now look how good he's being. But I had to set him straight, like, hey, cut that crap out. You're not doing that with me. What else can we talk about? Some of you are too forceful. You get after him too much. You don't realize you're doing it. Like, you know, you're riding the horse and you're like, he went a little home fast, and so you made him do all this stuff, and then he did what you asked him, and instead of like being done and just tying him up or something, you make him do 1,000 more things until he loses his mind and blows up, and you're like, what a bad horse. Like, not what a bad horse. He did what you wanted for hours and hours and hours, and finally he said, I can't do this anymore, and he blew up to tell you that. And he might have taken control or bolted or whatever he did, but it's because of what you did that caused that. So I wonder what that was that ran by. So you have to realize you don't want to beat them up too much. You can put pressure on them and show them, but don't get in a huge crazy fight. Ask them to do things. When they do it well, good boy, good job. See, he's being a good boy. Tell him so he knows. How did they know otherwise? Good job, buddy. So he's much better than when he went out. Now, I saw something run into the bush, so I'm not stupid. I'm shortening my reins, paying attention in case that thing jumps out. Maybe it's a crazy cat who's going to leap on us. You just never know with those cats. So you be ready when you see things. Don't just sit there and wait for something to happen. All right, but tell the horse is good. Don't overdo it with them, and yet don't underdo it. You also have to get after them when they're being bad. You have to tell them yes or no, not maybe. Be very clear and very strict, and they will just get better because then they understand the rules. When they don't understand the rules, people, kids, adults, that's when things keep going wrong because they keep testing, and if they're getting away with it, guess what? They're going to keep doing it. So just don't let them do it. So everything in moderation. Don't be too rough. Don't be too sweet to them. You got to have just the right amount. So he's still playing with this bit, but I opened his mouth and his teeth. He's got things coming in. And even though he's 6, his teeth are changing. We know that. Anybody with a horse should know that their teeth keep growing. So, but we'll see. This doesn't have a roller on it. Some Wonder Bits do come with rollers, but when you have one playing with their mouth too much, they're going to play with the roller, so don't get a roller. Now, he can't eat this bit. It has the rubber bit guards on it, so it blocks him from grabbing the shank, so that has helped. But I'm going to take him in the arena, and then we'll see how he does in the arena. So this is a nice forward flat walk for him. He's straight, okay? So see, if they can go straight home, because now he's focused on home, right? Then they don't look around as much. They're like, let's just go straight home. So when they do that, you're like, and you can go straight out when we leave also, because I saw you do it on the way home. Now you see, when we started out, he tried to grab the grass, and right back there, he tried to grab the grass. I just corrected him. But he might be one that needs to be ridden with a muzzle. So he can't grab the grass and break that habit. It's like putting the hobbles on the pawing horse. Sometimes you got to break the habit, but you need something to help you if you're not tough enough, or you don't want to keep yanking on him every time you go by grass. Don't wait until it's horrible. He just step pace, push him sideways. Don't wait until it's horrible to try to fix it. It's much harder then. That's when you usually need a trainer. But you're like, he's grabbing grass? I'm gonna try muzzle. There you go. You can find one that if you're really gonna trail ride a lot, that they can breathe well through it, but it just covers their mouth so they can't grab the grass. When they figure out they can't grab anymore, they stop. Remember, horses are very smart. When something's not working for them, they just try something else. So then he might just be like, well, I guess I'll just walk down the trail and eat later when she tells me I can. Then you're like, good boy, you finally learned your lesson. Okay. So, doing very well now. Still chomping on the bits, still scared of the feathers touching them, but that's okay. Nobody else really has these feather things that I've seen on trails, so it's not a big deal. But I knew he was a little uppity when we passed that rock before, and he looked at the rock like it was going to kill him. And I was ready to go home if he started getting worse instead of better, but he actually got better. But never be afraid to tell your friends, hey, it's not working out, he's bad today, I got to get out of here. Or your friends' horses are crazy and it's setting your horse off, and you're like, I'm not at this level to ride. I can't do it. So I'm going to go by myself or just walk home, or I'll stay here and wait for you guys to come back in an hour, and then I'll ride back with you. So make your decision. Make the safe one. By the way, when people come for lessons, you'll hear me telling them not to stop, or, you know, they want to quit, and I'm like, don't quit, because they're so close to doing it right. And once I can get them to do it right, then the next it comes, they do it more and more right. But if they quit right before we get that answer, and I know they're so close, we got to work all the way back through that again. So I don't try to instill fear in people, but I try to encourage them to keep going, because sometimes you got to go through a little bit of stuff because you're almost there. That's right. If you have a real forward horse, a beach, a really long steep trail ride that just goes uphill for miles and miles, those are the best ones to go to. And I used to, when I had a more forward horse, let them delineate what trail I went to when you have options. If you go out and your horse is bad, you pick the hardest trail you can find, but it should be straight up, not straight down. Straight up so it wears it out. Or you're going on the beach and they want to go fast, well, you let them start going. And you just keep going and going until that horse slows down and doesn't want to go so much anymore. That's when you know you've gotten to the bottom of them, and that's when you can probably turn around and go home. They start getting fast on the way home and you have a big open beach, you can canter circles, you can gate circles, and you just stay in that circle until they're tired. Then you go the other way and you do it 20 more times to make sure they're really tired before you go home. And you can do that the whole way home. You start walking, they start being bad, you're like, well, guess I'll go back in my 10-meter circle. Because with 10 meters, it's big enough you can move your horse, but small enough they can't get too fast, okay? And it's harder than the bigger circle. So here's the thing he spooked at when we came out. What do you know? We're going home. He's not so spooky on it anymore. They play games with you. So I'm half halting, squeeze, relax, because he's a little fast. Squeeze, relax. You get to this step down right here, you sit way back. Now, he goes down a little fast. Again, in time, I'm going to fix that. But he shouldn't go down too fast. We want him more careful with his feet. Ringo, that foxtrotter I have, he's one of the best ones going downhill. He's like a goat. He makes it so smooth when he steps down. He gets himself all balanced. I hardly have to do anything. And he just steps down nice and easy instead of jarring and kind of jumping down like this guy just did. Okay, so he's just a little faster, so I'm going to serpentine. I want to do this anyhow. Because again, it helps separate his legs. So remember, the more you practice these things, the more you can use them. They're in your toolbox. You're like, he's step pacing. Let's just serpentine back and forth. And when he stops step pacing, I'll go straight. Oh, I did that for 5 minutes. It's not working. Now I'm going to try leg yielding. Oh, that didn't work. Now I'm going to try the shoulder in. That didn't work. Maybe I'll go back to the serpentine. You just keep trying stuff. He's not bad, but he's a little heavy on his forehand. It's not like he's pulling. I can just feel he's not rocked back on his back end enough. But again, I'm not picking because I don't want to get in the fight. I'll get pickier when we get home. Breathe. You see him looking at it, he's good, but he got a little scared, like, I'm unsure. And I'm like, I'm sure it's fine. So you breathe and tell him that with your relaxation. Because if I get nervous, then he goes, well, I'm scared, and then she's scared. Those things are bad. They're going to kill us. You're like, no, they're fine. They just eat horses. They don't eat humans, so I'm not afraid of it. That was a joke. All right. So he just went a little forward there. I just half halted. Yeah, you can even walk them on and off the trail if they're really not paying attention. But see, he's a little forward for going home. He's not bad, but he should be coming home slow. That means he still has energy. That means I'm going to give him some work to do in the arena. So this is a little jarring because he's starting to get a little pacey going downhill. So even if you get the gait good in the arena, which is great, you still got to work on it and get it out on trail. Because the thing that changes it on trail, even though he knows what to do, emotional. He's out there alone, he gets nervous, he gets step pacey. He gets some anxiety, he gets step pacey. He gets pissed off, he gets step pacey. So it's not just me working on the gait, it's me working, oh, that was a hole. It's, we couldn't see that. That's why you always sit back. It's me working him through those things to get rid of the anxiety, okay? And get rid of the nervousness and get him braver. Okay. So now we go in the arena. Okay. So we're gonna go in the arena. I expect that when I start gating him, he's gonna step pace even though he's all warmed up. And so I might just take him over these poles. If he does, I'm going to do my shoulder in and those things, but I might also use the poles today. So here we go. So I'm going to push him over, catch him with the other side, and then release. This is, remember I was doing this before, so half halt and then release. So half halt, then release. So we got to teach him. Now I'm going sideways because he's step pacing. Now I'm going the other way sideways. Now I'm tapping because he got too slow. We got to teach him that even though I'm releasing, he's not supposed to change his speed, and that takes practice. So I push him over, release. When he speeds up, I pick up again and I release. But I don't clamp down. So what happens to a lot of you is you're doing this, and when you release, the horse speeds up. So you pull and you won't let go, and then they speed up more and more each time you let them go. It's because you're confusing them and they're trying to get away from you. Okay, so remember, I'm going to tell you how long I'm holding it, right? He's okay, he's drifting. See, I left the gate open, like more challenges. Okay, so he's step pacing, so I'm going to push him over, hold him, 1, 2, release. I push my hands really forward. Now, he was doing that to the owner the other day. He was pulling her right up by the fence. He never does it to me. He just did it to me. I'm like, I ain't playing your games. Now try it again. But see, I'm meaner. I'm not going to tolerate it, but not everybody can do that, okay? Now he's a little step pacey. I'm going to bend him to the right so he can't go up to that fence. Now he's still a little step pacey, so now we're going to go over the poles. I told you I might do that because I might need a little bit more help to get his brain back and his legs back. Now these triple poles might make him trot. We'll see. Half halt, let go. Half halt, let go, leg. And sit back because you never know if they're going to trip over these poles. Half halt, let go. Half halt, let go. Half halt, let go. He's still step pacing. Half halt, let go. Here I just got to let him go. Now he's getting trotty. Keep going. So I'm going to get away from the poles. I'm going back over the pole because now he got pacey again. Now stick because he slowed down. So he's speeding up. Yeah, you see me pick up. I don't know if you can see me that much. I guess I'll tilt this down a little bit. I'm trying to tilt it down towards his head. Hopefully that worked. Come on. I tell everybody not to say come on, and then I go, come on. So I'm bending him to the right. So if they keep taking you to the right, bend him to the right. See his head going to the right? Now he's speeding up, so I'm going to hold, release, hold, release, hold, release. And you can pull really hard. You can pull as strong as you want, but then push your hands forward and let go. You're trying to get him to seek the release and figure out that if I do this thing, she releases. So that's what I want to do, because otherwise she's pulling on me and I don't like it. You got to give him time, so you got to repeat it over and over again. You may have to repeat it 1,000 times. See there, we kind of caught the edge of the pole. He just wasn't paying attention. That's okay, I'm sitting back. That happens to all of us. So there he's gaiting well, and he sped up. So I pulled on him, now I released. He's gaiting well, but he's speeding up. So I'm holding, and I release. You got to do this over and over till they figure out she needs to go that one speed. But if I stop them and keep starting over, that's going to be too hard. So if they're really bad, I just start with my one rein stops. But once I get that, I think they understand. I just half halt release, half halt release. But I know it's not twice. With younger horses or horses messed up, it's thousands of times. So you got to put the time in. Now he's gaiting well. And remember, he came in here, he was horrible. There, he lost it. And you see, now I've stayed off the fence, and I'm going to slowly start getting closer to it and see if he drags me up to that fence again. But I have the tools in my box that I'm like, if you go to that fence, I'm going to make it miserable for you. So you better not get too close to that fence, because I'm ready. It's just as fun for me, a game, as it is fun for you, because I like a challenge. So go ahead and try it. Let's see what happens. That's why I like it. The horses are barn sour. I'm like, go ahead, drag me home. See what happens when you get home. They ain't not going to be fun. I don't take them back out. I don't try to go back out a million times. I say, you like to be home? Let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is keep going. You're like, does she ever shut up? I'm going to keep going, and when I think he's able to hold the speed, which he's getting better with, and he's holding the speed on a relaxed rein, that's when I'm going to quit and give him a break this way. Hopefully the camera battery will last that long. I think he's getting closer. The hard part is they get doing this and they're like, she's never going to stop. They start getting slower, so you got to have a little bit of leg, not too much. You might even have to use your stick or your spurs and not your leg at all, just to create the very right amount. Because if you don't, and you use too much leg, they go too fast. So you just got to do what you can. See, there, he got a little. And don't pay attention to his head. I don't care about his head. He's going to try and do that to distract me. So now we're getting closer to the fence, so I'm ready to pull his head right if he starts going into it. No, now he sped up, but he didn't pull me into the fence. So the horses that have had lots of arena work usually are good with this stuff, but the horses that have had trail and not arena are going to be very bad, and you got to put those years of arena work in to get them back where they should be. That's why if these horses were just trained right and trained in the arena and then trained on trail, all we'd have to do is go back and remind him what he already knew, but you can tell he didn't know. Speeding up, so half halt, release, half halt, release. And I'm pulling on him. I'm pulling and bending my elbow because he's not responding to just my fingers. So we can use what you have to use. Now he's trying to quit, and I'm like, that's not the answer. The answer is slow down, so don't quit. Keep going. Here he's good. Now he's a little step pacey. Now again, some of you are up for this challenge, other ones aren't. You got to decide for you. Are you up for the challenge, or you either want something easier? Here he's good. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Now he sped up when I said that. He shouldn't speed up. Now when he gets tired, I'm not going to do the pulls because he could get trippy. We already know that. So now his head's way down. Little leg. Again, I don't care where his head is right now. Nope, now he sped up again. So you see he's speeding up in the same spot every time. So this is going to be my marker. When can we go by that spot and not have him speed up? Because the rest of it's pretty good. It's just that one spot. So take, let go, 1,000 times, and off you go. Little leg. That was better. He's like, I should have just listened to her when we went out, because then he wouldn't have had all this work. He was just perfect out there. But this is how you get him perfect. You show him. So you see, I'm not beating him up. I'm not making him run. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just working on our gait consistently, gradually, trying to help him figure it out. And then giving him chances to make mistakes so he can figure it out. It's just like you. When we're training, we let the riders do some stuff, and sometimes I don't say stuff because I'm trying to figure out, did the rider get it? Are they able to fix it themselves? And when I see them fix it, I'm like, bravo, you got this now. But you kind of, with people and horses and dogs, you got to tell them first, show them what to do, then try to give them the option to try, so you're not micromanaging their whole life. Now that was closer. He didn't speed up as much. His head might be on the ground by the time we stop, but that's the point. But you gotta let them make mistakes so they can learn. And that's what horses do, you know. They keep trying stuff, and you might think it's bad stuff, but they're like, how do I get this thing to stop? So they might rear up, and they're like, well, that didn't work. But maybe you made it worse for them once they reared up. So they're like, I don't think I'll try rearing again. They're like, maybe I'll run backwards. No, that didn't work. Now there he was slow. Whoa, good boy, and he stopped. So we're gonna stop right where he kept getting fast each time. Tell him, hey, that's the answer. You go slow in this spot, we're done. So we're still going the other direction, but that took a while. But he did very well, okay? So we'll see. Now we're going, now when we go his bad direction, he's gonna cut to the right, so he shouldn't drift as much up to that fence, okay? So when I start out and they're pacey, even though I was working at his saddle gate, I'm gonna walk around once at the flat walk, get him warmed back up. He went too fast. I didn't ask for that. So again, don't just let the horse do what it wants, because when you do, then it's just gonna do whichever gait it feels like doing in that terrain and not what you want. And even if you don't care, if you need to sell that horse, it's gonna be all messed up. Shouldn't just, that's like driving a car that just jerks around and does what it wants, and it doesn't go forward or backwards with the driving or the gas. So a little step pacey, not too bad. Let's start with the pulls in this direction. So he pulled a little bit on the bit there when I asked him to go to the right. So now I'm catching him with my left leg. He didn't respond and the gate's open, so I really bumped him with my left leg. Like I said, go over the pole. I have to focus, so I'm not talking. I'm going back to that pole because he didn't do a good job with it. So maybe he's thinking about home. And I'm going to stop and back him up. See? He just fell down. Okay. So when they do things wrong, I'm trying to get the point across, like don't do that. So I will go right back to the thing. So that was better. But he was just being a little bit of a brat. So now I'm squeezing and releasing. So I'm doing my half out. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Because he keeps speeding up. Now this time I'm going to go closer to the gate, not do the pull. See if he tries to run out. He's like, no, you're not getting me, Gaye. Okay. So now I'm going to practice the same thing. So again, first we had to kind of get his gait. Now I'm trying to get him to get the gate and stay in the gate, but without me having to hold him. So at times I'm going to use my hands and no leg if he's too fast. So when I do the half halt and he's too fast, I just squeeze, release, no leg, no seat. If he's slowing down too much, then I'm going to use my leg the same time I half halt to push him kind of under himself and to keep him going. Okay? Then as he gets better, when I do the half halt, it's going to be very light and just a little leg. So here he's pretty good, but now I just waved my stick because he started to get too slow. Now he's too fast. This is all the stuff that happens. You just got to do it over and over again. He's good. Good job, buddy. Good boy. He's speeding up, half halt. But his neck is relaxed. That's good. He's smooth. He's speeding up, half halt, release. He's good. Speeding up, half halt, release. So with most of those, I wasn't using any leg until right there. I just put my leg on it. So, and when I talk about develop feel, that's what you're trying to feel. Are they slowing down? Are they speeding up? Are they smooth? But I will not let him drag me around. I will not let him yank his head to the ground or pull me somewhere I don't want to go, like out that gate or to the fence. I'll just show him, like, when you do those things, bad things happen. So I would not do those if that was you, but you can do it all day. I don't care. It's fun. But if you don't make it bad enough, they're going to keep trying to go to those places. So if the horse wants to go to the stall, you can get off, tighten that girth up, take off the bridle, tie it up tight in its stall so it can't eat hay or water, and let it sit there for hours. Let it watch you. But you gotta, if you put them in the stall and they have food and water, well, of course that's not going to teach them anything except try to pull you to the stall faster. So you got to make the stall, which has now become a magnet for them, a bad thing, right? That's why when, you know, a horse is stuck on go, sometimes you just keep going down a road, or, you know, in the sand until they're tired. When they're tired, you turn back towards home. You're like, that's what I was looking for. But you couldn't get it, so I had to help you find that answer. Sometimes you got to do that because people have made them go, 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 and they can't think straight. Now, he was doing pretty good. He got a little crooked there. To me, it feels like he's getting tired. I'm going to half halt here. Now, he slowed down too much, and I didn't ask him to do that. But that tells me he's looking to stop. He's like, what do I have to do to stop? And I was like, you got to keep the same speed all around the circle, but I know you don't understand English. So I'm trying to give you hints. It's like playing charades, right? You're like, I'm trying to give you hints on what to do, but you have to figure it out because I know you don't understand me because you're a horse. So you keep playing that charade game with them, showing them what to do, giving them hints until they figures it out. He's good. Good boy. Now he sped up right there. So see, he was good. And then he's like, oops, sorry. Half halt, release. Half halt, release. Half halt. So see, I half halted and he stopped. That wasn't the right answer, so I kept pushing with my leg until he started again. I would like to make it all the way around without doing much with the rein or my leg, but I haven't made it yet. But we're trying it today because he had lots of energy and he was a little bit of a butthead on the trail. So I am going to tie him up when we're done and let him just think. I'm going back to his stall and forgetting all this stuff we did. It does help them, but you know, I know many of you want to tie him up with hay and those other things. That doesn't help him to think. That just helps him to space out and monotonously eat their food. Fine in the trailer, but not after work where I want them to figure something out. They just need to sit there and think. And when people think of that and they go, well, that's mean. Well, remember when you were a kid and you got in trouble, what did your parents used to do? Which they probably don't do much of anymore. They sent you to your room. They said, you can come out of your room when you figure out what you did wrong and you apologize for it. And you would sit up there like, what the hell did I do? Oh yeah, I punched my sister in the face. That wasn't very nice. But she bit me first, but yeah, I shouldn't have punched her. So I still think I was right, but I know what I need to do. So that's what you're trying to get the horse to do. So you come out and you said, I didn't mean to punch her in the face. That was a mistake. I'm sorry. Can I come out of my room? And they go, if you don't do it again, you can. But if you punch her in the face again, you're going right back in the room. That's what you're telling your horse. You try to run out that gate one more time. I'm going around this arena 50 times. So you know what you did. You know what you're supposed to do. Now you got to do it. But see how many times I've been going around since I was telling you that story? Yeah, he's trying to stop here, which is close to the answer. I want him to keep going, not stop. So if I was teaching him to whoa, I would have stopped there, but I'm not. I'm half halting because he got a little step pacey. Now I'm tapping because he got a little too slow. He's like, oh, what do I have to do? I'm like, you need to figure it out. All I want you to do is stay the same speed and then we quit. But if I don't do it long enough, he won't figure it out. So just a tiny bit of leg, so it keeps going. All right, I think that was pretty good. Whoa. So again, in time I asked more and more out of him. I didn't do stuff like that in the beginning because I knew we couldn't get it. So now he can. He's figuring it out. That's Fly Boy today. He wasn't very fly today. Even though I like him, he has a little bit of a butt. But they all get better in time. All right, there you go. Hopefully you learned something. Remember, like, subscribe, put your notifications on, and tell your friends how much Gaye talks on the videos. All right. Hasta mañana.